In today's video, I'm going to show you how I made this privacy blind and this privacy blind. I set out on this project with two main goals, and they related to light and privacy. And I think I've nailed both of them. By doubling up on the thickness of this four-way stretch carpet, very little light makes its way through from the outside, but most importantly, no light escapes the van at night. Now, this video must have been rolling for almost 30 seconds now, and you're still here. So why don't you subscribe to my channel below, click on the bell icon if you'd like to be notified every time I upload. Give the video a like, leave a comment if you've got any questions, I'll answer all of them, and let's start the video. So far, I've carpeted the door and stuck it down all the way around here, but I've left it unstuck around the window. And the reason for that is that I'm stitching on some Velcro so that I can attach my blind. Using a sewing machine here is not an option because you can never be guaranteed that the marked out positions are going to be the same once you've got this stuck on. Then you want to find some Velcro. I got mine from the scrap store, and I was fortunate enough to find some in this nice navy colour which complements the Pacific blue carpet of my van. Then you want to choose an appropriate height, get it as high up as possible so that your blind doesn't flap down at the top, and then pin it in place initially at either end and one in the middle, and then pin in between until you've got a decent number of pins that are going to keep it in shape as you're stitching. For the blind, I used the plywood panel that came with the van. This was a real time saver since templating isn't exactly the quickest of tasks. I'll now show you how to transfer the Velcro from one piece to the other. Conveniently, the carpet already just very lightly sticks to the Velcro up here, so it's easy to get up into place. So what I'm going to do is take the opposing piece of Velcro, and then I'm just going to go like this, and I'm going to stick it on exactly in place. Brilliant. And then what I'll do, I'll get that back up like this. I've got a bunch of pins ready down here. And then what I'm going to do is make sure this is all smoothed up so it's not going to sag. Unpeel the very end like this. Squeeze it against the piece I'm going to stitch it to. And then I'm just going to pop through a pin to hold it in place. And then I'll repeat that, one on the end and one in the middle. So with those three pins in place, I can carefully peel this off, knowing that that is in the right position. So I can now go to the sewing machine and get this one stitched on. All right, we're flying now. We're cooking with gas. And then this is, I'd imagine, is going to work just like how we do the box cushions. I'm just going to spin it around like this. It needs to go the other way, doesn't it? Wow. Pop the foot back down and then go this way. Down, foot up. We've got to spin it around, so I'm going to actually spin it round all the way like this, rather than tucking it through the machine. There we go. Now you get to see it properly. Okay, foot down. I used a soldering iron to make two holes in the carpet above the window. These holes would later be used to install riv nuts that would allow me to hang hair bubbles used to secure the blind when it's open. I'm doubling up the thickness of my blind, and there are two reasons for that. Firstly, one layer of carpet doesn't quite block out all of the light, And secondly, the way I'd done this was that so when it's rolled up, you've got the nice face, but that means that when it's rolled down, the face inside of the vehicle is the bad side. So I need to stick two bits together. What I'm going to do, I've deliberately left this one oversized for the moment because I'm going to stick them together and then I'm going to trim them both just slightly smaller than the blind because the blind's very slightly too big. And when I've done that, I'm going to run a zigzag stitch in the same colour thread as the carpet all the way around the edge, just in case it doesn't glue everywhere. And for the best adhesion, you want to cross-hatch your glue application. It's all going to be perfect. So this blind is now cut to the exact size that I want it. I'm just going to pop it in the van and check that is correct. Trim a little bit more there, I think. Once I've done that, I'm going to run a blind hem stitch all the way around the edge, because when you glue it, the glue can fail and it could open up on the sides. So I want to prevent that from being possible. Okay, let's go. So here's your opening and here's the finished blind. I've attached onto the back, I stitched on, I didn't show you, I stitched on some buttons and then I just hook a hair bobble onto each of them. And those are going to allow me to hold it open. So just got to line up the Velcro here. Stick that on like so. And then just flatten it out and stick it down below, pull it tight. And there you have it. A fully blacked out window, doesn't let any light through. And then when you want it open, you just got to unvelcro it at the bottom and roll it up. Like so, nice and tight. Get to the top here and then smooth it out. And then you've got these hair bubbles that I mentioned a minute ago. And they just hook up onto these furniture screws that I've got attached to the door. And there it is. It's fantastic. Anyhow, that's that one. Let's now move on to how I made this. I'm particularly proud of the solution I came up with for the blind between the back and the cab, because it took a lot of thought to get it right. And my solution is one of three parts. Two side pieces, I've only made one of them so far, and then the central piece, which is the blind. And the reason that I've got the three pieces, if I just roll this up out of the way, I can show you, was for simplicity's sake. These small vans have very curved walls, and to shape one blind to the edge and expect it to block out all of the light at the same time, well, that's never going to happen. So I made separate side pieces that follow the shape of the wall of the van and then are straight all the way down the inside edge, which gives me a rectangle to work with. And then all I had to do was make the blind, attach some webbing top and bottom for strength, and screw it down to the headliner shelf that I made. And then with the Velcro attached to both pieces, you can just block out all the light. And then this gap here, well, that's filled in by the mattress when it's in place. So yeah, there you have it. Two blinds and one very stealthy van. I will see you in the next video, which I think will be going over my MOT. So that should be a fun one. I'll see you then, and have a lovely Christmas.